So I am under the car. As you can see, the bottom side of the intake. So to get the intake off, a factory intake that's never been taken off before, there is a metal bracket on the back of which holding your O2 sensor clip and your wiring loom and this coolant back pressure hose right here. But to get the intake off, I'll try to show you the bracket. It's this metal bracket over here. It's 4 12-millimeter bolts holding that in, and after you cut the little piece holding the wiring loom, the zip tie thing, and unclip the O2 sensor from it and undo the back pressure coolant hose from it, you can take those 4 12-millimeters out, and it will actually come out in between the exhaust pipe and where your half shaft is on the Integra. It'll actually drop down, and you flip it upside down right here over your half shaft, and it'll fall right out of this hole where my hand is. And that is how you get that out. And now I can reach the bottom 3 bolts on my intake from down here without any problem. So I'm going to be taking that off now, and then the only thing left after I take these 3 bottom ones off is going to be, I don't know if you can see it up there, where the 2 coolant lines go in. I need to either undo those right there, or just, I think it's 2 bolts holding that whole little unit in, and just move it back out of the way. I've got everything else unhooked, my injectors, my wires. Other than that up there and these 3 on the bottom, that's done, and I'll have this intake off, and then I can really start working on how my wiring loom's going to be pushed down in here. It's going to be a mess. Golly, I hope this car cranks. I say that jokingly on the video, but it's in all seriousness, actually. I've never done this before. I've did a very, very mild wire tuck, like in the front, like I've started on this car before, but I've never actually tried to hide like majority of the wires, and I'm going to do that on this vehicle, even though I said I wasn't, because I'm a fucking dumbass. But yeah, we're getting there. After I get that intake off, that should help a lot, though. It'll open up the whole back of the area, and I can really do some extreme movements with wires and stuff then, because, I mean, there's only a select few that need to make it to the top anyway, so once I figure that out and how to get them there, we should be good. Alright guys, that was just a little update on what's going on. Oh boy, fun times. Not really. Got the intake off. Showed you from the bottom side. This is from the top side. Gasket is acting like it don't want to come off, so I'm gonna have to take it off. Overall, I mean, not too hard of a job. It's a bunch of 12-millimeters, pulling a bunch of wires. Let's see, I took this off from the back of it. 2 12-millimeters right here. You gotta unplug these 3 plugs. You're gonna have to unplug this hose. A couple other hoses. I think it's, I didn't have to unplug that one technically. I think I did that too. I can't remember why I did that. Unplug this one, your injectors, fuel line, which is still attached to the intake over there. But I mean, like I said, not a terrible job, not the easiest job either, but you know, it is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you what, those bottom intake bolts, those 3 that have nuts on them are a pain in the ass. So What I did is went under the car, stuck my hand up through here, and I'm going to show y'all what I bought. I bought one of these from O'Reilly's. It is a spring-loaded swivel. See, look. And I tell you what, that saved my life on those 3 bolts, because it's like you can get the end of an open end wrench on it, but you can't unless you have a lift. If you have a lift, you don't need this. If you don't have a lift, go buy this. It's this little set right here. Because if you have a lift, you can get the car up high enough that you can actually get both hands underneath in that hole. But, I mean, in all honesty, if I had the car up higher, which is as high as I can get it at the moment with my jack, it's high enough that I can get under it. So, I mean, if you're like me and don't have a lift, invest. It's like $20 for the set of 3. But, yeah, definitely a lifesaver in that situation, because it's basically lined up like that. Yeah. Instead of straight. It's near. I ain't gonna say it can't be done with just a regular socket, but I couldn't get my hands up in there to turn it with any ratchet that I had with a regular socket without it slipping off. So with this, I was able to have that angle to get this down farther, so it was almost angled straight down, and I was able to get a shorter ended ratchet in there to actually turn it, and broke loose no problem once I got this. But yeah, we got quite a bit of work ahead of us. I'm gonna probably zip tie this in here somehow so it's out of the way with this whole harness, and then I'll be taking the rest of these brake lines out, moving everything closer to the block. All right, no more ABS proportional valve, whatever. So this was a royal pain in the ass. This whole job has been so far. The 2 that are left there are my back 2. I even pulled these 2 out, and I have to rerun these 2 to the new one. Those are the back ones. They should be okay as far as I know. Nobody else cut them. All of them are out. This is basically everything you're going to pull when you're doing an ABS delete. It's a lot of crap. It's a whole lot of crap. Old headlights. I'm more excited about the headlights than I am the damn ABS delete. I mean, oh well. It is what it is, guys. Live and learn. It's not that bad though. It'll still be clean. Eventually, it'll have that motor in it. It's a B20 VTEC with a PR3 B16 head. Nice little setup. But as for now, she'll stay stock and be just a nice little daily. Still be clean though. We're going to clean her up. But I'll keep you posted. So, got the wires over here tucked. There was a big bracket right here that was holding like 4 or 5 plugs. There's also a bracket here that holds your throttle body, another big bracket here that held this line and 2 other brake lines. So I took those off, took that bracket off. This bracket that held my throttle body cable here, it had like 3 other prongs on it for holding other wires. So I took my grinder and cut off wheel, and I cut those off of this side here, and the other side, it had one on the other side here too. I cut those off, shaped everything up, made everything rounded. Made sure nothing was sharp there, but basically cleaned that up, holding it, and then repainted it black I couldn't remember if I needed that one, so I didn't cut it off. I don't know if I do or not, but worst case scenario, it'll be okay. And then there's the bracket for the, I'm going to actually put this one back on as well, because I think it'll hold the clutch line up higher than where it is now. And I just feel like that's a little cleaner look than it's sagging like it is, because it holds it up to like the bottom of that crease here. But other than that, it's really the only progress I've made. These wires are now underneath the master cylinder there, and they run down under the brake booster. So you can't really, I mean, you can see them if you're over here looking, but if you pop the hood and you're standing here, it looks 10 times better. Would really like to get a S2000 clutch master cylinder and just put it down in the hole as well. But for now, I'm fine with that. Don't really matter. I'm not really huge bummed or anything about that. It's still pretty clean, and having it up high kind of hides those wires a little better. But so I have no more wires on this side that'll be shown other than my power wire, which my ground wire here. Thinking about figuring out something with it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this one the same way I did as the other side because of my power steering ground. Because I tucked this side over here going down, which I hadn't hid my headlight wire yet. But yeah, I may leave this. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, there's no wires on the top side on this side, and none over here. Now, cleaning this clusterfuck up is going to be not that fun. Not fun at all, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we're doing with this side. I haven't got over here yet to even start to begin on that clusterfuck of wires. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little update on that. Looks so much better. I'm actually thinking about changing out my alternator while I'm right here as well. I done the starter when I had the transmission out, and I know this alternator's fairly old, so I might as well do it while I can get to it. Super easy access with the intake off, and then you with the intake here, you would have to take this bracket off, undo your injectors and crap anyway to get it out. So while I'm already in this predicament, I feel like I might as well go ahead and change it as 2 bolts. It'll be 2 bolts instead of 4 later on. So that's probably going to be in the works here soon. I might even do that today. I'm not sure. I just can't wait to get this thing cranked and back it out, and really deep clean under the engine bay here, because it needs it so bad. It's gonna look good, but it definitely needs it. Like, all this shit will come clean, all this will come clean, all that'll come clean, all this dusty shit will come clean. It'll relatively be pretty clean underneath the hood. I mean, should anyway, because this is still, it's never really had any damage. Guy I bought it from he hit, I think he said a dog, to be honest, but I'm not sure. He hit a dog right here, so the only body damage was this little bit of the corner on this fender. But it's never been in any wrecks other than that. So it's all factory colored, so it should come back to life pretty decent if I actually take my time and clean it up nice. But I'll try to do that. Like, these are the factory fenders that match. So, but yeah, this car is all factory. So I would really like to keep it that way. I'm getting harder and harder to find OEM factory cars that are nice. So this will probably be a keeper. This will probably be a keeper for me, in all honesty. Nice little daily. Everything else is for sale other than my coupe. I'm going to try to get that hatch running, sell it. Basically, all the money from the hatch will go in the coupe. I really want a hatch to daily drive, but at the same time, it's not a priority. If I run up on a good deal on a hatch, an EK or a EG, I'll buy it. But it really is not in the mix. I was gonna trade this for a hatch, but I've done so much work to it now that I really don't want to trade it for a hatch, because normally you're trading for someone else's problems, and shit, this thing won't have a problem one. But we'll see. It would take a really, really nice hatch to get this car from me. I mean, in all honesty, especially now that I'm going through all this. But we'll see. We'll see. This car won't go nowhere unless it's a super, super clean. And I mean, it would have to be clean EG or EK hatch. But we're getting there. Got some SIs the other day. With some monster truck tires. Well, we now have a Honda Civic 92 through 95 proportionate valve and bracket on a 99 Integra. For anybody at home wondering, don't do it. It's a royal pain in the ass to do this. I mean, in all honesty, it is a pain in the ass. No more ABS. Proportionate valve. New brake lines. They're not the prettiest, but this is a daily. It's not a show car. In my other Civic, that whole proportional valve will be inside the car on the other side of the firewall, and you won't see any brake lines. But in this car, it don't really matter. So I was just trying to make it as easy as possible, because this is a daily driver. So what we have are the two existing rear lines that were in the car that I was able to save from the old ABS. So those are these two. Then you got both of your inlets on the fronts. Yes, that one looks like it's out, but it's a longer fitting. So then you have both of your exits to passenger and driver. So then we ran new lines here as well to feed this. And then over here under the battery tray, I ended up using some old hose to put on that, just so it's not rubbing metal. But other than that, as you can see, the bends aren't the prettiest, but they work. They will work. Hopefully the car will stop. You won't really be able to see any of that anyway because of the intake. So, but there you have it. 92 through 95 proportional valve on this would be like a what? I think it's a 97 through 2001 Acura Integra ABS Delete. This is not a kit you can buy. This is not, they sell a kit. The kit's like $300 for all the steel braided lines, and then you have to find a proportionate valve that works. This was a trip, well, pretty much a trip to the junkyard can find you a proportionate valve that's like that. So $15-20, and then 3 30-inch lines. I think we could have got away with 1 20-inch lines. So let's go 4, 8, 16 $16 plus 20, so you're at like $36 into this. Now, time and labor sucks. I mean, you're adding your money and time and labor in this job, but I mean, you're looking at $40 bucks or less to delete your ABS system and all this bull crap with it and putting in this proportional valve. Like I said, I was having issues with my ABS module, and it's really expensive to replace it. It was like $200 and some dollars under a discounted price at part shop. So I saved like 160 bucks doing this, and it cleaned up the engine bay a lot, so it's a plus. But I ended up going to, we have a Roll King. It's kind of like Tractor Supply, I guess, but I got these self-tapping 10mm bolts for this bracket, and mounted it pretty much almost in the same place as the original. You can see the two original holes right there for the other transfer valve, I guess it would be. I guess it's a proportionate valve, but it's a transfer valve at the same time from the ABS module, so you can't reuse it. But yeah, there you have it. 1999 Acura Integra with 92 through 95 EG proportionate valve and bended brake lines. So hopefully, my dad's coming over here in a few minutes. We're gonna be bleeding the system, making sure there's no leaks, making sure I have a pedal. Then we're going to bleed I can't really. We're either gonna put it all back together and then bleed the clutch, or bleed the clutch first, one or the other. But hopefully this thing will be at least movable today with brakes, and then I'll probably pull it back in and jack all four corners up, take all the wheels off, finish wiring in the halos, put the coilovers on, switch out the wheels, get the suspension dialed in, and then whole day's worth of work today. My end goal for today is get it out of the garage, running, driving, stopping, mechanically sound today. Pull it back in the garage, put it up on 4 jack stands, finish wiring up the headlights and halos, pull all 4 wheels off, put the coilovers on, switch to my new wheels, dial in suspension. So hopefully it'll be back on the road and actually legal this week. And then I'll have to make an appointment to get my windshield fixed. It's gonna be like $200. While that appointment's happening, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take the carpet out, dye it. I'll do that video too. So we got quite a bit of work ahead of us, but she's coming along. She's getting there. Glad you guys are staying tuned. What is up, guys? We have the Integra running for the first time in months. So this is the final little update video. Got the front bumper back on. I hadn't finished putting all the clips in it yet, but this is the no more wires there. I tucked all those, tucked the wiring harness right here to the headlights. No more wiring harness here, no wires here, no ABS module here. We went with a acidic proportionate valve back there, ran all new brake lines. I did a crinkle black valve cover, got the new wheel penis. Overall, nice, very nice. I just adjusted the idle. I was having some issues with the idle control valve. This stupid shit back here. But this should be the the final video on getting everything right on this. We got the idle. Looks like it's sitting about right at 6,000, which is probably about perfect. Show you guys the new headlights. Ooh. But anyway, just figured I'd close out this update video. Hopefully my next video will be putting the coilovers on and new wheels on. I'll actually make that a video since I've done it several times, so that should be. But this is everything that I pulled off of this car. This is the old ABS. All these brackets, fuses, wires, all the lines, the old headlights. There's a lot of stuff, all in all. Plus all these extra. These are all leftover bolts from stuff that are from the ABS and all the ABS wiring and stuff. So I pulled a lot of stuff out of the engine bay here. A whole lot of stuff actually. So looks like I have a bit of a coolant leak down there. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Well, something else to fix on the to-do list. Wonderful. Well, I guess that'll conclude this video. I'm glad y'all seen how problematic this car is on film for once. But shit, everything on this thing will be replaced before long. Alright guys, I'm gonna fix this coolant leak now, I guess.